respected faculty members and students of IIT Guwahati. Really, it's a great pleasure to be in the middle of so much of IQ packed in this hall. The cream of the intellectuals in this country who are going to really drive the technology in the years to come. And nearly the 20th edition of the Technology Festival, I think, is happening here. This is a great thing. It gives an opportunity for all of you to stop and think, discuss, learn, and go forward with new enthusiasm. My association with IITs, of course, has been, I must say that I missed being an IITian very closely. After finishing my master's in physics, I was to do research in one of the IITs, but as kind of destiny would have it, I got into the civil services, and that's how I missed the opportunity. That was my passion those days, physics. But anyway, in a different way, I'm contributing to this country. And as Secretary, Department of Electronics in Delhi, a number of proposals which were from IIT Guwahati, I had the opportunity and the occasion to clear those proposals and fund some of the projects for IIT Guwahati in during 12 and 14 during my period. So that way, it's really, so I feel so happy to come back here and be talking to you. So what I will try to do is relate some of my experiences in the area of IT. I have been at it for almost 25 years now, as mentioned in the introduction. So I would like to share some of those, and I hope that will be useful to you. Of course, it's a young blood, new generation, probably 3 generations away from me in terms of, but still, I think the experiences in the past really may help. That's the reason why I'm also going to talk a little bit about Aadhaar, the organization I have been with for the last 2 years, because it's really something which is really big, and people, especially those who are into the technology, would like to know a little more about it. So I've kept that as well here. So let me just take you back to almost 25, 30 years ago. How was the picture and how is it today? So I'll just throw up one slide here. Just see that. This was the kind of situation in those days when everything was done manually, and the records were imperfect and subject to a lot of injustice, discretion, indiscretion, and so on, delays, indifference, and so on. Of course, with the technology available in those days, which was not much to speak, certain improvements were made to the system so that people get their pension in time. So how is it today? What is the kind of transformation we have seen over the period? So this is the current situation in the same state, same geography. You can see the numbers have multiplied tremendously, but we are able to do much more with much less. and much faster, much more transparently, and much more conveniently to the people, you know. So I'm not saying Aadhaar has made all the difference. There are a number of technologies and number of, you know, building blocks went into all this. But Aadhaar, of course, is currently playing a key role in all these things. So I want to just say that there is a lot of change, a lot of improvement of using or by using technology in this country. And we are all beneficiaries. Our community, our societies benefited tremendously in using of technology. But it's, of course, technology, while it is very important, it is only a tool. End of the day, it's the will to change, the desire to change, you know, and to think big and think progressively, think inclusively. Those are the issues that, you know, get priority over technology, right? So now, in terms of technology being used by governance, I said, you know, I threw up 2 slides dating from 1989. Over the period, you know, a lot of improvement has taken place from where, you know, starting with what is called efficiency. The old woman getting her pension on the first of the month, efficiently, without delay, without any message. That was the early stage. Then the citizen is at the center when you call it e-governance, and the service is on your mobile. You have m-governance, which is very convenient. Wherever you are, you get the service. Real-time governance means instantaneous service available to you. One government, instead of 20 doors, people going from door to door to 20 different windows to get a service. They get everything at one place. And the next stage, as is happening in several countries, is the invisible government, visible governance. You don't see a cop anywhere, but you know there is perfect law and order. Several countries, examples we can quote there, and so on. And finally, invisible governance. You are the boss. The citizen is the boss. You don't feel even the need for governance. Maybe 2050, we may reach that stage. So there is a definite hand of technology and the concepts of governance, concepts of management behind all this evolution. So I thought, that is the way. Probably when you are really in the peak of your careers, probably you will touch the dash line, you will dash through that area in your peak of your career. You will see all those evolutions, probably may not be there. Then what is this concept of digital transformation I am trying to talk about today? This is, the buzzword all over the world today is digital transformation. What is it? What is the trigger for coining this new word? So you have all these factors which are our drivers which lead to digital transformation, or which compel us to look at digital transformation. Meaning, the technology can be an inducing factor. A new technology has come, the cloud has come, the AI has come, ML has come, So all these will make us think that what can I do with this technology? How can I help the people? How can I do my job better, my service much better, much more efficient? So technology can be one factor, one provocation for change or transformation. Customer, the citizens may demand more quality from us as governments. Ecosystem induced, where there are private sector players, there are government players. So the ecosystem itself may push for digital transformation. And innovation, people like you, the startups, etc., may come up with new ideas and more efficient algorithms and more efficient devices. So there could be several provocations which push for digital transformation in this country. And what is the end goal of all these things? Better customer experience or better citizen experience? operational flexibility so that the options are many more, and service innovation. So this is what I am going to talk about. Have we done this before? Which areas have we done? How did we do that? So this all deals with these 5 fundamental concepts here. How do you're all experts in designing systems, but today in a country like India, we should move or graduate ourselves to the next higher level, from systems to ecosystems. Just hospital management system consider as a system, but you must think of the whole ecosystem of health in this country. So that is, system to ecosystems. Enterprise architecture, don't think of monolithic with blinkers. Look all around, 360-degree view of government and create systems for that architecture. Standards, absorb new technologies, and create competency within government to handle all these new technologies. Absorb, use them effectively for helping the quality of service. So some of these ideas will enable the country to raise from where we are to the next higher level. When I said ecosystem, in the country, what is important for this country? How many ecosystems we need? I have illustrated some here, like identity, digital identity. Professor Biswal has mentioned, your director, that the largest digital identity system in the whole world is with us today in the form of Aadhaar. That's an ecosystem. Similarly for payments, health, education, agriculture, primary sector, business, cities, jobs, logistics. I have listed the top of the chart. In all these areas, immense opportunities, really an ocean of opportunities exist if we are able to create all these ecosystems. Don't create a small island here and a small island there for education, and a small project here and a small project there for health. Think of the ecosystem as a whole and create those base platforms and standards which talk to each other and really help the country from north to east and south to west, south to north and east to west. Whole country, irrespective of the kind of institution or entity, they should all be able to interoperate within the health sector and education sector and so on. So that is the need of the hour. We need to think in those lines. I think your generation is really ideally suited to think in those big terms. And what do you need? You need, again, architectures. When you want to create an ecosystem for health or for education or for agriculture, which will run across the country, possibly with minor modifications, you need these 5 criteria, 5 components. One is architecture, standards, open data, right business model, so that it is self-financing in nature and self-propelling in nature, and of course regulation, so that the data and the information is not misused or diverted for other commercial purposes and so on. So you need regulation end of the day. When an open ecosystem is there, where there is public sector, there is private sector, there is NGOs, there is civil society, so many elements are interacting in the ecosystem, you need regulation as well. So this is one factor I wanted to mention, the need for us to go to ecosystem level, right? Then we progress, we make a quantum jump in terms of how we are using technology in this country. I would like to give an example of one of the projects that I was associated with. This is a framework which is called India, meaning India Enterprise Architecture Framework. That is, how do you create ecosystems? How do you create the feeling of one government? It is not 30 departments, it is one government across the whole country. So this is a set of standards that we have defined. It's yet to be notified by the Ministry of IT. But let me just show you the picture of that. It is the one government vision which can be used by Government of India, state governments, educational institutions, PSUs, everybody. This framework can be used. And I don't want to go into detail because that's not the context. The context is, once you are standards based, you are able to interoperate, you are able to expand and scale indefinitely, infinitely. using these principles. So this is what is available. Those who are interested can see that this framework called India, those especially in the IT must see this, because it enables you to start with a set of services and be able to create the applications, the database, the technology, and then the security, which is so very important. How do you integrate all these things? What kind of, so a set of reference models is available in this standard, which is in the process for notification by the Government of India. So that any major project, any ecosystem you want to build, just follow these principles. There are about 70 or 80 principles and a number of standards which have been put together in this framework. So that's what I'm telling you. You must standards-based thinking and big thinking is what is behind this particular idea. Now another area is that we are giving so many digital standards. End of the day, there is no commonality among those different digital services, different electronic services and digital services. So we have created these standards, this set of standards called DSS, which is those who are in the IT again, approximately following the life cycle, starting from how do you define the service, how do you realize the service, how do you measure the service, how do you govern the service. So this is another interesting standard which those students of IT can study with benefit here. So what I am saying is that you need an ecosystem, you need an architecture, you need a set of standards. It is all there for us. It is for us to take it forward. Let me, towards the end, show you 4 examples of what we are doing in this area of digital transformation. Starting with Aadhaar, which has been so popular in this country.
You have to control and select.
Yeah? Yeah.
Press control and select.
Yeah. This one?
Yeah. Control and select.
Okay.
So would you like the handheld, because I don't think
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a few minutes.
would you like this first changing the cells?
It doesn't matter. You can be here. Yeah. No, this is blanked out here from whatever you have done. Yeah. Give me a second.
The display is turned off, they're turning it on again.
Pardon?
The display is turned off, they're turning it on again.
Okay.
You can use this to change the slides.
Okay. So I hope it comes back soon. So here the Aadhaar is a platform for digital inclusion in a country with 1.3 billion people. How do you most of them did not have even an identity, proof of identity. You need to put a load of documents to prove that you exist or you are so and so. So this was in 2008-9, 10 years ago. So this platform was created for generating the digital identity for everybody in the country. And yeah. So this is creating that unique identity. This is the vision. And there are 2 purposes. One is identity. What do you do with that identity? I must be authenticated as so and so with my name and my address, etc. Anywhere, anytime. So with that, the whole platform it's a massive platform, which I'll just next few minutes I will try to explain that. So this is the vision of Aadhaar, which is substantially realized today. And as UIDAI, as the authority of which I am the chairman today, this is the mandate on this organization. Universal enrollment. Every person in this country above the age of 5 years shall have the digital identity. Then one should be able to authenticate whenever he or she wants to do a transaction with the government or with the private sector. Instantaneously, in less than a second, that should happen without papers. Update. If my particulars change, my address changes or my mobile number, etc. change, I should be able to update, then it should not be used. 1 billion is a huge number of records. Nobody in this world has this kind of records. So regulation of the access and how the data is used is also the responsibility of UID as an authority. And finally, security and privacy, which is so very important and talked about these days. So this is the mandate, and this is what we have been doing as an organization for the last almost 10 years. So as you might have known, some of you, and it's a 12-digit unique identity number. It consists of the demographic data, the name and the father name, and then the address, and also biometric data, most importantly 10 fingers plus 2 iris, and of course a photograph also was taken. All this biometric and demographic data exists, and we are able to do the authentication where there is a reasonable connectivity. We are able to do it in less than 1 second. And so far 1.22 billion or 122 crore Aadhars have been issued, which is the largest number of anywhere in the world by a factor. So any other country probably would come near India if you probably blank out this one. So that is the kind of comparison we have. And every day, 3 crore people every day as I talk, they are using Aadhaar for some service, some authentication, something or the other in this country. That is the kind of numbers we are doing. But I mean, it can go up to almost 200 million a day. That is the kind of 200 to 400 million a day, possibly. Everything and anything that has to do with individuals thing should happen eventually over this. That is the kind of potential. We are at the very beginning of using Aadhaar today, right? It is about 3% or less than 3% a day of people are using Aadhaar today on a daily basis. So this is what is, so this is the largest digital platform, digital identity platform in the whole world, coupled with biometrics. So, and then this is the snapshot taken today of how those numbers look like. As I said, 1.22 billion plus Aadhars have been issued today. And this is the updations. And see, 22 billion times the Aadhaar was used in this country in the last 2 to 3 years. 22 billions. And eKYC, which is an advanced version of authentication, is 6 billion plus. And this is the graph, how it is in terms of generation. As you see, the peak was there, but then as the population, uncovered population is coming down, so obviously the run rate is coming down. It's not because of lack of efficiency of the system, but because the balance left is very little. And unfortunately, Assam is one of the states which it is only about 11% today, compared to 100+% in several states. So Assam, there was a delay initially in starting up. So they are now making up very fast these days. So, but rest of the states, they have all saturated with the issuance of Aadhaar. Yeah. So this is how the numbers look like. And then in terms of usage, how it is getting used, you can see the trend. As I mentioned, 3 crores per, this is as of this morning, I've taken this snapshot. As you see, it is 900 millions last month, which is about 30 millions a day, or 3 crores a day. This is the kind of trend that is happening. And eKYC also is shown on the right side. So these numbers are really astronomical, and the kind of infrastructure you need to give millisecond response to those hundreds of millions of transactions is really a gigantic task. And keeping it secure, keeping the whole ecosystem also comply with what is the law of the land and the regulation of the land is really a gigantic task which we are doing today. And now, as I said, either fingerprint or iris, both will work. For very simple cases, even mere demography details, name, Aadhaar number typed, and then you can do it. Or OTP, for those who are having the phones, OTP will work. And latest, we have introduced, because for old people, sometimes the fingerprints wear out and then it may not work. So face recognition also has been tried out and innovated and used with the help of the photos which are originally taken at the time of enrollment are being used for FR from this month onwards, September onwards. So these are the various possibilities going forward so that you are more efficient, your failure rate is less, the rejection rate is much less, and the false acceptance, false rejection are both under good control. And citizen satisfaction is high. So we are continuously doing research in that area. Yeah. So this is the authentication for a transaction. And what kind of transactions am I talking about? The very ration with which I started this presentation, the pension with which I started this presentation, where it was taking so much of time, so much of inconvenience to the public is done instantaneously. And then ration is one more area, public distribution system, rural employment guarantee scheme, where the people get paid for works done in the local area, roads and other construction works. And of course, scholarships. Tens of millions of students get their scholarships online by linking up and using of Aadhaar. Some of the major applications, and the other applications are in terms of what is useful to the farmers, registration of sale deeds, land records, which is very important in this country. So they are using Aadhaar in a very innovative manner. And at the end of the day, there is a lot of concern about the security and privacy. So the Aadhaar Act provides for, we need not be worried that, that our data, our personal data, our sensitive data, our biometric data is going somewhere. We need not be concerned. The Act and regulations are very much in place. And I'm not going to detail, this will be available with your proceedings. So, but just it is enough to say that adequate provisions have been made on both the security as well as privacy for the data that is collected by UID or Aadhaar organization. So we have also followed it up as soon as our organization was set up statutorily, and I was appointed as the chairman in 2016. So 9th, we were sworn in, and 14th, we created a set of regulations which covering all these aspects. So that's how one need not be. There is a lot of talk, there is a lot of concern about this security and privacy. So one need not be worried that, there is nothing available. There is a lot of provisions available here on these aspects. And again, there is a 7-layer security behind which the Aadhaar data is housed in Bangalore and Manesar. Like 7 fort walls, you have to break 7 fort walls if you really have to reach there. And it's highly encrypted, the whole data, both in capture, transit, and storage, 2048 encryption, bit encryption of the data. Then 24/7 Security Operations Center monitors whatever events happen in extraordinary manner. Immediately it is 24/7, it is traced. And they are not exposed to internet. All the sensitive operations and data is not exposed to internet, but it is handled in with our own internal protocols in the data centers here. And 2 of the data centers we have in Bangalore and Manesar with over 7,000 servers, which handle the whole kind of billions of Indians' data is available there. And of course, we have 8 regional offices, including one in Guwahati for the entire Northeast. So, one of the 8 is in Guwahati. And there is a lot of, an estimate shows that against this, we have, our savings to this date have been 90,000 crore plus, 90,000 crores in the last 3 to 4 years. In terms of what we have saved by eliminating the duplicates, bogus, benefits being drawn. So almost 4 to 5 times more than the investment has already been saved in this country, which was going into wrong hands all along, has been stopped here. So in terms of, don't clap yet. I have a couple of more. This is only about Aadhaar. Let me try to go back to the presentation. I will show 2 more quick examples of this, what is happening using of technology. One is called the e-Pragati in Andhra Pradesh. While Aadhaar is national, this e-Pragati is a statewide, enterprise architecture that is built up. So let me show that. It is 3 basic objectives: citizen centricity, unified government, one government, not 30 departments, and sustainable development goals, health, education, agriculture, everything. So we have created this kind of a concept where from birth to death, all kind of life events that we come across trigger number of services, need for number of services from the government. So instead of going, to different places and different websites, you create services around each life event. When I want to buy a house, what all do I need to have to do? What all permission I have to do? Put it at one place. Slice and dice is one of the themes under e-Pragati we are doing. So that, government is not 20 different doors, it is only single door. That is the aim of e-Pragati project here, which is at a very good stage of, this is the big picture. As I said, you need to think of government. How does the government look like? What is this entity called government? Has anybody seen government in life? It is existing in different forms. So we put the whole of government in one slide here. You can see massive amount of work has gone behind designing this. And then currently, whatever is yellow here, including the core, is in place in Andhra Pradesh. And, all this wiring behind the screen has been done. So that you can interoperate. Citizen need not go from pillar to post, but all related sectors are integrated within each sector. Like, for instance, this is entire primary sector, what farmer, entire education sector for student and faculty, and so on. It's all crafted in such a manner that it's all interoperable, not only within itself, but across the sectors. So this is the very big vision. Probably very few countries in the world have attempted this. We are doing that in Andhra Pradesh. So this is one more project I wanted to show. And one thing is about land. Another project is about land, which is called Bhuseva. Because land is so very important. Land in the rural areas, agricultural areas, tribal areas, hilly areas, and then in the towns or cities. Every piece of parcel of land is important to us. So how do you create a good traction around this? So we created, what is called the game changer called Budar. In AP, we have done this already, Andhra Pradesh. Just as Aadhaar is for you and me, Budar is for every piece of land in this country, every apartment in Andhra Pradesh, every house, every vacant land, every parcel of agricultural land has a Budar. So once you know what is Aadhaar, when I say Budar, you understand the importance of that concept. It is just deriving from the same concept as Aadhaar in respect of land and property. So it looks like that. It is a 11-digit number. While Aadhaar is 12-digit, this is 11-digit. And it is preceded by 28 for Andhra Pradesh. Tomorrow, any other state, by replacing the 28 with their own code, they can really apply it in any other state as well. So, and for all communal lands, community lands, we have provided embedded 00. So that once for all, into future, you are automatically protecting the community property. Once a citizen or anybody sees, or any system sees 00, better be careful. Don't buy, don't deal with that. It belongs to the community. So into the generations going forward, we are protecting the entire community property, which is ours. Collectively, it is ours. So we have put such innovative ideas into this Budar concept. Besides that, a lot of advantages, which I don't want to go into detail at this point, but whatever advantages we are getting by using Aadhaar, we'll get for all land transactions, we'll get through Budar. So this is one more innovation and transformation we are trying to do in Andhra Pradesh, which hopefully will succeed very soon. And we have 2nd October for launch of this project. 2nd October, in a month's time from now. So, just one last, I wanted to show, of course, online whether it is available or not, and then before closing. So, one second, please give me a second. Yeah, let me just try. If it works, works. It doesn't work, I will leave it. So we have the whole of government, very, very interesting. Something else is coming here. Yeah. Connectivity has been a challenge this morning for me. In this today, our government has completed 1500 days, so there is an ad there. So this is one portal which is a real-time dashboard for the whole government, on which Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is so very famous globally for what he does with technology. We wonder, is it a myth or is it reality? You can see it here. In 2014, this dashboard was created in August 2014, right? When he was sworn in June 2014, and in 2 months we created this, where you can see real time, whatever is happening, this data here, 150 plus programs are real time available here. You can probably see the street lights, going to any street in Andhra Pradesh right now, you can just see how many lights are functioning. That kind of control you will have here. If one street is dark, immediately it's shown here, real time, and one can, immediately the concerned person is on his toes, he'll go and rectify it in no time. So this is, for instance, one can go to any of these cities. We have 110 cities in Andhra Pradesh. You can go to any street in any of these by clicking in on any one of these, and then see how many so this is only just to give, how do you are using IoT there. Every pole has an IoT picture there, right? See, you can see in this particular city of Dharmavaram, which is famous for silk sarees all over India. So total lights is 57 and 77 lights are not glowing this evening, right now. Means somebody, this is in the public domain. You can all see that. And obviously it is on Chief Minister's iPad as well. So he keeps looking at them, so people obviously will have more. Wherever it is red, you can just go there and see. You can just see there is an IoT device there. You can just mouse over here and you will see, the kind of what exactly is the problem there and who is the concerned person. Everything is there. And a message goes to that concerned lineman. So this is the kind of real-time information we have. This is exactly, if it is rectified, it will turn green automatically, So this is only one example I'm showing. There are 100 plus. The whole night I can spend on this, but that's not the intention. So just one more example of, the pension with which I started on a sentimental note about that old woman. You can see here that sitting or standing in Guwahati, I am able to see real time, this minute, what 91.8% of the population of the list of beneficiaries, they got their pension already. whether they are old, they are widows, they are disabled, they are, weavers, single women, etc., etc. And all kind of analysis related to that is available here, real time. The moment a pension is disbursed, my clock ticks here, real time. So this is another example. So that, nobody is trying to cheat. It's all transparent to you, who is doing well, who is not doing well. And this is one example of how you can use technology effectively so that people do, the service in a proper manner in the government. And similarly, all kinds of things. I can go to any hospital and see what kind of medicines are available on the shelf and what medicines are not available, and so on. Everything in real time, as I was repeatedly mentioning, that it's all linked at the back end either to IoT device or to a server, which pumps all the data. You can see energy footprint data is at 2039. Right now the time is 2042. So 3-minute latency. I have the entire grid information. Every transformer in the state, I can drill down and go and see whether it is working or not working. So that is the kind of power of technology we are using. And every canal, for instance, in the irrigation, you can go down every canal, you can see whether water is flowing to the farmer or not. How helpful it can be, such a kind of use of technology for this. There are several examples, scores of examples. As I said, on this you can explore it. It is in the public domain, core.ap.gov.in. It's available https core.ap.gov.in. You can see it more, at your leisure. So this is what I had to say. And last but not least, let me go to this slide and say a little bit about something interesting thing which I learned over experience. You have the best of management capabilities, you have the best of technologies, you have the best HR supporting you, you have the entire architecture, enterprise architecture, EA. You have drawn the beautiful plans and everything. And you have the best of infrastructures, servers, data centers, networks, and so on. You have good partnership with industry, academia, everybody behind you, with you. And you have all the resources at your command, budget, and so on. But still, it's adding up to zero. Unfortunately, it's adding up to zero. So how do you add value to the whole zeros? Is at the front, if you have the leadership and vision, that's tremendous value to whatever we are doing. And that is the lesson I have learned. And I've also learned that it need not be the Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Prime Minister. Definitely, their leadership will make a lot of difference. You and I can be those leaders in our own way. And I'm sure that with the kind of learning you are getting here in this institution, you are all going to play this role of one in the years and decades to come, make a difference for the whole country. So with that wish, I'm closing my presentation, and thank you all. Okay. Thank you. So, in the interest of time, I thought, and also the audience being so big and large, there may not be a possibility for any Q&A. But since you have my mail ID, you can mail me anytime, and I'll try to respond. Thank you.